today we will talk more about blockchain, some insights and some case studies that will present the idea of blockchain and why it's so valuable for us. So I hope you enjoy, and I'll give the word to our today's host, which is Steffi, because we tried to make it a bit more interesting for all of us and we switched the parts. So Steffi, it's your turn to present Anastasia, and enjoy, people.
Thank you very much, Irina, and welcome everyone to the second part of the conversation. If you have missed the first one, it's available on YouTube, and we recorded it, I think, 2 weeks ago now. The topic was women in blockchain and why more women should be joining the blockchain space. It was a really interesting discussion. We had a lot of questions from you guys, so we hope we'll get some interesting questions today as well. Looking forward to that. You can type them on YouTube or in the chat, and we'll be occasionally looking at them. And yes, it's us again. For those who missed the first part, let me quickly say I'm part of Eternity Ventures team, and we're investing in blockchain startups. We have around 20 companies which we invested in. So my role there is to overlook everything from the operational and marketing side, to take care that all the processes are followed and that we have a clear idea of what we're doing, where we're going, why we're doing it. And the part I enjoy most is, of course, working with the teams, because we see amazing ideas every time, everywhere we go around the world. And it's really fascinating what you can do with blockchain. But more about that comes in the discussion. So let me quickly say how happy I am that I'm joined with Anastasia. She's one of the faces of the Bulgarian blockchain and crypto space. But Anastasia, I'm giving the word to you so you can introduce all the activities that you're doing, because it's not just one thing.
Thank you, Steffi. I'm so humbled already. I'm not sure how I'm gonna now present myself after that. So I've been in the blockchain space for, I think, almost 4 years now, full-time from 2017. And before that, it was like, for me, my story is like really logically led me to that technology. So I was in the time, I 10 years, I think. So before I dove into blockchain, I was working with startups and international investors in Bulgaria, which invested in those companies also. Then I learned about blockchain, started digging deeper and deeper into different projects also that I'm sure I'll have like the chance to dive into more now. I'm also a co-organizer of the Sofia Crypto Meetup. This is the biggest, at least most active crypto community in Bulgaria. I would say not only in Bulgaria active, because like everyone is invited. And currently
the calendar for everyone involved in crypto in Bulgaria. So I think it was last Wednesday of each month, right?
Yeah. Thank you for that. Yeah, it's we have now everything is online, of course. So we have online meetups every last Wednesday of every month with really interesting guests from all around the globe at the moment. So you can also see the recordings in YouTube or join us online. We start usually at 7 p.m. Eastern European time.
What is the topic this month? Is it public already?
It's not public yet. We'll announce it soon, but you can follow our Facebook page. If you just type in Sofia Crypto Meetup, you will find it. And yeah, we have an ongoing survey at the moment with really cool prizes. They're actually Bitcoins. So that's one thing. Yes, Steffi, you should go also. We will really... We'll value your input, and also with a charitable cause. So please do. Yeah. So currently, I'm institutional relations director at Nexo. Nexo is the world's leading financial institution regulated for digital assets. We're a crypto lender mainly. You can find us at nexo.io. What I'm doing is partnerships with institutions. And
that would be one of my questions today, because I know your job description, but before that, I mean, what kind of conversation is this if we do not start with the first question everyone asks you when you enter a room? I know this is happening to you, it's happening to me everywhere I go. And the first thing everyone asks is, I work in blockchain. What is actually blockchain? Last week I was at the seaside in Greece and I get introduced to a lady. And the first thing she asks me right there on the beach was, you work in blockchain. Finally, someone to explain me that word. So for everyone who missed the intro last time, and for everyone who needs, again, to try to understand blockchain, Anastasia, what is blockchain?
So we dug into that a bit in the last episode. I'll share just my screen for a second. I always try to find the easiest explanation of what blockchain is. So just let me share my screen for a second here. Okay. It's just one slide, so don't be scared.
It's not complicated.
No. Yeah, I promised I'll try to explain it in the easiest way. So, sorry. So, yep, this is how basically in a picture. So we have individual records, the information cryptographically input on a ledger, and those records are called blocks. They're like packed into blocks, let's say, and each block has a hash. They're linked together in a chain. That's why it's a blockchain. We call it a blockchain. Actually, initially it wasn't called a blockchain. And this hash, this is the interesting thing that actually makes that actually says what is very important to what blockchain is. Just let me stop sharing. Yeah, so a hash is something like it's very important to explain what it is because it will help us understand the projects that actually are solving solving a lot of, for example, socioeconomic problems. These blocks are connected. Each block has a unique hash. A hash we can imagine as a unique fingerprint. This hash, the hash function, most used one is the SHA-256. I'll show you something that's very interesting. You can hash anything. You can hash my name, just Anastasia, or you can hash like a whole chapter of a book, for example. Let me just show you something, and it will clear many things up. How it works and why it's tamper-proof, why this information cannot be accessed. It can be accessed, it cannot be tampered with. So,
okay.
And just a second.
In the meantime, if anyone has, feel free to drop them. We'll interrupt Anastasia. We'll ask her anything. So if anything is left unclear to you, now is the time to raise a hand and ask.
Okay, so I'm sharing my screen now. Again, just a second. Okay, so let's try. I haven't even used it. You can literally hash like in this here you can hash like information. Just a second, sorry. So let's do this with my name. Sorry for that. And here it is. And this hash, you can try it with whatever you want. This hash is always the same. So we can try with, it's always the same for my name, for example, for the information I have input. Here I hashed Steffi's name, and it's a totally different one. And basically, it's a unique hash. So every, if we go back to blockchain, every block has its own, I stopped sharing, right? It has its own unique hash. If you go back in time and want to change the information in one block, you have the hash would change right away. So actually it makes it like firstly impossible because you have to change all the rest of the blocks to date, because every block besides its own hash has the hash of the previous tamper-proof chain. So why am I explaining all that? It's like that unique structure that that blockchain presents with all the hashes. It makes it super secure and resilient to any sort of data modification, as I tried to explain. And this is like where most of the applications of the technology lie. So firstly, one of the first things is to say about blockchain is that there is no central authority that governs blockchain. So this makes it it makes it completely a democratized system. And secondly, since the provided information is immutable, what I tried to explain why it is immutable, it can be easily shared. It's made open. It can be made open to the public. Which allows for really unparalleled levels of transparency. So it's the many features of blockchain.
Okay, let me ask you this. Blockchain has many positive sides, immutability, but what is the one thing that excites you most about blockchain?
That's an interesting question, by the way. Just one, yeah, that would be really hard. Oh my God. I would say, yeah, I would say transparency. I can actually, I'll show you later actually how transparent, how easy it is to see transactions there. And speed, it's not one. Speed of transactions. So, and okay, one last thing. Okay, that was hard.
Okay. Let me ask you this. A lot of people are wondering, we hear about blockchain for a couple of years now, even though the technology as an idea is quite not new. I would not say old, but it's not new. But in the main public stream of information, the name blockchain is popping up every now and then. We discussed last time, Facebook, all the big corporations looking and exploring ways to use blockchain. So I was wondering, when do you think we'll be starting actually to use blockchain in our daily lives without, thinking too much of it? When will be the mainstream point when we all hope to see? How do you see things?
This question is also very hard to answer, to be honest, because it's something in between my wishful and every blockchain evangelist, let's say, I wouldn't say I'm an evangelist, wishful thinking, and the reality. And if you ask me this like 3 years ago, I would say like in 2 years, any moment now. But as we see, we're really far from adoption. Every new technology. Show you again a screen.
That's why everyone was really excited when the cryptocurrency was peaking. A lot of projects were gaining financial independence, let's call it like this. So there was a lot of money in the crypto space. The prices were crazy. Everyone was talking about the market, and then we all were hopeful that, and it's just about now that the things will become mainstream. And it was interesting for me to hear your perspective now, when we are a little bit more sober and more realistic in the middle of a global pandemic. How do you see things?
Well, for every new technology, it's you have a really tough time and a curve that I'll show in a second that explains very well where we are and in the adoption. So every new technology has this. It solves. It's not just some awesome new technology that just emerged and now we're thinking where to implement it. This one really solves problems that we have had for centuries. Problems in our social life, in economics. It solves like the different and problems that we have solved, maybe have a solution to, we can find a better one with blockchain. So when adoption comes, I would say when we have, when we really, just one last thing to go, to explain before I answer. There are different regions in the world that have, for example, in adoption-wise, are here and we are here, or in different stages in different industries. For example, we have the whole region of Africa unbanked and underbanked that are way ahead of us in adoption, because transactions with through blockchain are really fast. You can very cheap, secure, and very affordable. You can just download a wallet on your phone, which is free, and send or receive all over the world with no fees. For us, it's a bit hard to understand because we do the same. We have mobile applications with our banks, and we can also transact for maybe not that's not for free, but still. So that was my point.
As urgent, if I can just interrupt you. So the need for this technology is not as urgent with us because we have alternative ways, not as good maybe, but still alternative ways, and it's hard to understand how quickly it can change lives.
Yeah, in a way, it is. I would say it's not that urgent in a way because we have some solutions, but and just very slow, let's say slow adoption in a way, but not in everything. For example, the example that I gave with money transfers in the unbanked regions is only one of the solutions. The financial sector is only one. So we have many others. For example, in the healthcare system, this is a unique case of health records on the blockchain. So accessing, not being able to, not being able to tamper with, and so on. Imagine, for example, like a world where you can go wherever and all your it's safe and still accessible, all your information about your health. But then you have governments. You need I don't say that all governments are tough in this sense. They're very forward-looking ones.
I was about to ask exactly this question. Which countries do you think are doing, I'll not say great, but are going into the blockchain direction? Because we all know there is the European Union has formed a working group, I think 2 years ago now, which has members from almost all countries, and they are exploring different blockchain solutions and use cases. But which countries do you think are, forward thinkers and already working on such use cases?
I was literally just going there because those countries are the ones that already have a really high level of adoption. So when we talk about generally the world, it's one thing. When we talk about different regions, or in this case, different countries, is totally different. So my favorites, we've talked about that maybe many times. One of my favorites is Estonia. It's actually the first one to establish a blockchain-based e-residency. It is, I think it's the first, yeah. it is like genuinely digital in every sense, and is either already implementing blockchain in, or is to implement blockchain in healthcare, in the banking system, in e-governance, as I said. There are many companies that are based there. Actually, sorry for that. I wanted to say the Ethereum Foundation is actually in another country that I really love for blockchain adoption. So really front runners in Europe. Another one that is also on governmental level is has really is very digital friendly, is the United Arab Emirates. That pioneers in so many ways, even promising that we'll have by 2021 they will have a fully blockchain powered government. They're already working on that. There are many countries that are already even testing the centralized central bank CBDC, central bank digital currency. Well, China, we cannot like exclude China here. They're already like already testing the currency. Estonia, by the way, I think also were the first to implement e-voting on a blockchain, which is also like an amazing use case.
Yeah, I will quickly interrupt because we already have 2 questions. Let me just start with the second one. I think it fits better with the topic, then I'll go to the first one. Elisabetta is writing, adoption is already here, but in the finance sector, don't you think?
Well,
what do you think?
Well, I'm in the finance sector. What can I say? Yeah, it is. This is the first most. You have really easy solutions for the fintech, and I'm in fintech at the moment. So of course, yes, it is for sure, but not only. We have also. What can I give as an example? Even here in Bulgaria. So if we're talking about Bulgaria. Favorite cases also generally for blockchain, and here in Bulgaria as a blockchain related company is the use case of charity and donations generally. So we have an amazing project, Bulgarian one, bithope.org. You can look at it, which is a great case in itself. Also not only like generally bithope. So in charity, this is a Bulgarian. In charity, the case is you have transparency. Your donations are going exactly where they should go. You see what part is used for what, by whom, and so on. Like by whom, it's pseudonymous. I don't mean that you see exactly the names and everything. So let me again share you my transaction in charity. You just donate it. Usually you don't know what's happening after with your donations. So let me just search for it. I'm sorry it's not that I have slow internet. It's just I'm really I have too many things open, working on too many things at the same time. So that's the site of BitHope. So let's go just in campaigns and see one of them. This is the first one actually in Bulgaria that first NGO that is managing donations purely in crypto, mainly Bitcoin. Okay, let's check this one. It's online. So just look at that. You have here the address. You can also like use the QR code. I'm just copying the address. you can click on donate now. You can do it with your phone, just with the QR code. I just want to show you the campaign address, where actually what donations have they received, and like where they're going. And BitHope actually are giving really user-friendly information afterwards. So let's go to, you can take it in an Explorer. I'm using the blockchain.com on for Bitcoin.
User friendliness is a keyword in blockchain when
Yes.
we talk about adoption. So at least when we work with startups, one of the things we try to always tell them is speak in a human language, and please be user friendly, because you have to click there and then do that, and then you want to scan it, you do. So every time there is something user friendly, we applaud basically. So
Yeah.
let's see how user friendly is to see all the transactions.
Exactly. While you were saying that, it would be way if my computer wasn't like overloaded. So we have a BTC and the Bitcoin Cash address. I'll go to the BTC one. This is I just copied the address in the search of the campaign. So 11 transactions, here you can see all of them. Where who has sent it, to which address, here is the address of the, and so on, and here. So
information, not fake, not changed, not manipulated in any way.
You can see the amount, you can see like the amount received, the balance. If something goes out of here, it will be here in the ledger. You'll see like where it's where it was sent. So really transparent, tamper-proof, all the features of blockchain, like amazing use case for charity, actually shares so much, solves so much. But yeah, I wouldn't say, to be honest, like I want to show how easy it is to see an address or transaction in blockchain. I understand it's not that easy. If you don't know it, you have to Google it, read for the first time. You won't be sure which one, like what to copy, where to paste it, and so on. That's true. The keyword here would be user friendliness.
Yeah. And just because we saw a lot of transactions, and this links very good with the first question, how sensitive data is protected in terms of privacy and transparency when using blockchain? So how to protect your data?
That's a very good question, because actually this what blockchain is. This is one of the basics. If you don't want to share anything, like in these transactions that I just showed you, you just see the address. So if you haven't put a note, for example, this is me, Anastasia Angelova, and so on, and this address is mine, and I live here and here, and so on, nobody will know. It's in this case, it's anonymous. By the way, there are currencies, projects that have native currencies, like native for the specific blockchains, like Monero, for example, which are totally anonymous. So generally about information and protecting information, it is for now. I don't know about hacks of blockchain, and it's virtually unhackable. And the information you input, for example, if I want to share with Steffi some documents, for example, I want, like, when people say put on blockchain, you don't really like go and upload them. It's really, in its essence, it's a database, but actually it's the worst database possible, because it's slow to input that much information. It's just not efficient. So what will I do? I'll go, for example, on a server, or better, a cloud server, safely secure whatever documents I want to share with Steffi, and then hash them the way I showed you with a hashing function, and just input the hash, for example, in a smart contract. And it would be if Steffi, for example, if we playing poker and she just like wins and the documents of my car are in there, like
every night, you know.
Sorry?
Like we do every night.
I knew it, but the thing is I don't have a car, so it will be something else. My cat, for example, I don't know. So all the documents are there the moment she wins. That's actually a very good use case. The first one to implement smart contracts is to introduce, actually, not implement, is Ethereum. So it can be an IoT device. It can be like a lawyer that's we don't know, that just goes there and says an oracle. It's called an oracle. It can be like just an IoT device that by my pulse would say, yeah, she lost, and input that data in the smart contract and say, yeah, Anastasia just lost, so all the papers of the car go to Steffi. That's it. Easy as that. So it's visible.
That's the kind of smart contract I would like to have. You know,
I just thought about it. It's a nice use case, right? So about the question, it's visible. The hash is visible, but you don't know what's behind the hash. For example, it's very secure. Same with with many things, as I explained how blockchain works and how important actually is the hashing function there.
So I think everyone watching right now is really convinced how much knowledge you have about the technology and how, you know, advanced you are in using it. So I will revert to okay, just final question maybe. Great that blockchain cannot be hacked, but does this mean also that blockchain is immune to errors? Oh, nice one.
That's a very nice one. Of course, it's not immune to errors, because behind it are protocols, like it's mathematics. Cryptography and mathematics is behind blockchain generally, and it's not from yesterday. Like cryptography is like here for maybe almost a century. Mathematics, I'm not even like saying way before us. So of course it's not immune to errors, because also behind it are people. So where you have people, you have errors, but it's not only that. Like bugs are found and corrected and so on. But the good thing is here that firstly, when we say blockchain, we mean generally, if we don't specify, we mean public blockchain. And the code is open, so everyone can go review. So it's like it's a decentralized open source technology. So it is not immune to hacks, but it's meaning bearing in mind that we have already a really big community. So many developers are working on so many projects, and even just literally yesterday I saw in one of the news channels I'm following one blockchain project and just posted the error, and it was corrected.
Nice.
So of course, yes.
So we are women in blockchain, and I'm asking you because this is one of the questions. At first, when I always hear it, at first I was like, again, the same old topic. But when I joined blockchain, I saw that there is a sense in this question. So how do you feel as a woman working in blockchain space?
That can be actually asked, I think, only by another woman, because firstly, and this is part of the answer, men don't really think about it, to be honest. It's like honestly, at the moment I'm basically most of the time the only woman on a whole floor with guys. Not to say like half of them are traders. So it's I'm totally happy how I'm treated and everything, but to be honest, in the beginning I had like serious pressure that I am not allowed to make mistakes, which is not true. You're allowed, like every human being, to make mistakes, but I was over preparing for everything. I wouldn't even peek, I wouldn't say a word if I'm not 100% sure that that's the case. While all the guys around me, when I got into the community and into blockchain generally, were discussing stuff, they were wrong, like like one is saying, yeah, you're wrong, actually it's totally different, it's this. Oh, no problem. I was afraid to say anything because I thought I had, as a woman, I had no I couldn't be wrong. Once I'm wrong and you have a cross on you, and that's it, you're out. And I just joined the boys club, you know. And now when I look back at it, it's so wrong, because I missed so many opportunities, like to voice my thoughts, to get into a discussion, and so on. I have a very, actually now a fun story. It wasn't maybe that fun like back in the days. I was invited for a panel by all the active communities in Bulgaria, that's female in tech communities. Really great event, but all the panelists, all the speakers were guys. I was the only girl there. This was some three years ago, I think. And when we sat like almost in a line in front of the audience, yeah, there were like maybe 90-something% women, but the speakers were guys, and I was the only one. So they were just passing they knew each other, and they were passing the microphone to one another. They knew who is like, they're passing like the words and questions and so on. And at some point I wanted to say something, but I couldn't, like, I should have raised a hand or something. It's weird. So I just grabbed the microphone and answered like one of the questions, and it was like, okay. They started passing it actually to me. I was relieved, and like I could say something, and then like even from there are girls that meet me at some event and like, I remember you from that first event, like in like 3 years ago, and so on. And then I went to the organizers and thanked them, because it was the first event I went to. I was invited to as a. It was like I was so like I had like peer pressure and everything. Yeah, and it was validation for me, exactly. And I went to the organizers and thanked them so much. I was so humbled to be invited to this event as an expert to the expert panel. And the organizer was like, "Don't worry, you were just the only woman we found in the space in Bulgaria." And I was like,
yeah. I had this similar experience on a conference which was about technology, and one of the main focuses was blockchain. So I was frontline, and there was one panel about the space in Bulgaria, what is happening in the blockchain space in the Bulgaria. So the guy who organized the panel just invited guys, because that's, you know, his boys club, you know, and he knows this guy and that guy and that guy. So it was just boys, and I know them all, and so when they're hustling, you know, trying to start everything and getting ready, I just looked at the moderator and asked, "Did you really only invite boys? Are there only boys in Bulgaria in the blockchain space?" And he just looked around and said, "Hey, you're right. Come, jump quickly on the stage. Come on." And I was like, "Yeah, of course not." But you know, I don't think they think about it that way, because you know, you're my buddy, I'm your buddy, and it's great to exchange ideas. But at the end of the day, there are amazing women in the blockchain space in Bulgaria. Women who work, as you said, twice as hard to prove that they know it, that they can be here. And me coming from retail and FMCG, I can only say that I haven't seen, you know, this type of, it's not a visible division, but you obviously as a woman feel the pressure to perform twice as much, to show that you know it and you got it, and you have the right to be here. So I was thinking one day that maybe if you're not as pushy or confident at one point, it's really hard for a woman to lean on, you know, to ask for a seat on the table, to ask to be invited. And I'm happy that you shared exactly the same experience. So what advice would you give to anyone who is in blockchain and want to be noticed, that they feel that they've not been noticed, that their work is not noticed, that they want to show more of themselves, but they may be afraid?
That's firstly, it's very important for everyone that wants to be heard to just go and speak. speak for yourself. Nobody will give you just the word. Nobody will you need to be maybe a bit pushy in a way, but you need to speak for yourself, because nobody will give you a word. And of course, you don't know everything. I even overheard recently some guys, I'm not gonna say names, and yeah, she knows a lot. She's really trying to show how much she knows, but she doesn't know everything. Of course you don't know everything. Like, of course you don't.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for saying that I know a lot, but still, of course, you don't know everything. So it's totally okay to ask. It's totally okay to not be right all the time. Just go, and if you're there is so many resources now. We're already going into another adoption stage that you don't just have like the technical, as Steffi mentioned, only the technical part. You have many you have many influencers, people that are translating the technology to in a normal language. You can just go and search and just educate yourself. So, and if you want to get into blockchain, it's for me and Steph, for example, it's education errors and fails also. A lot of we went through like a lot of projects. I think not in my case, not only blockchain ones. I had many that actually it shouldn't be blockchain. Most of the projects I have worked with, they have nothing to do with blockchain. They just come to me with a solution. They have read something somewhere, just like everyone can do, and say, well, I see here something. I see here like a good case for, I hear it's a good case for supply chain management, for example. My company is in that space. Can you please help me with this and that? And I'm like, actually, this is not your main problem. This is another, you have another one that another blockchain, because we say blockchain, but blockchains are very different, can solve for you. And I just go and communicate in a normal language how it's done, and just go and do the project. So yeah, that's my advice.
Great. I think we have a few minutes left for questions. So if anyone would like to join the discussion, share their experience, ask a question directly, raise your hand, and we'll be happy to put you into the discussion and listen to your story, how you joined blockchain, and yeah, what you're excited about. Because obviously we're really excited, and blockchain is a great solution, and we believe in it and we work in it, and we do hope one day there will be more women, because it feels a little bit lonely, to be honest.
Yeah, but there are more and more, and the ones that let's say that really make it, they're very different from men, as I mentioned in the last session of our webinar. They're very approachable, so you can literally go and write with.
And one more thing.
Index C, for example. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Not just approachable, but I think also willing to help each other, because that's at least
exactly.
my experience.
You want, like when you're invited to like us, I cannot even imagine, especially for a cause like that, women in tech, that I'm being like advocating for, like generally for women empowerment for as long as I've been in tech, not even in blockchain. It's we're always willing to. You can find us in LinkedIn and, for example, Twitter also, and just ask us questions, whatever you have. If you don't want to like ask now, we'll prove that we're approachable and we're really willing to help. And I've noticed that with many women, I haven't heard anyone just refusing even a small event. I'm not saying about like a scam event or something. Even if it's a smaller event and you're a bigger event name, I don't say men don't, but that's a thing I've seen like from women. I think we have a raised hand, by the way. Bozana Shortkova.
How do you see that?
Hello. Thank you for the inspiring talk. I want to also jump to jump in from your last topic for how, as a woman, we feel in a blockchain and how we started. So I just wanted to share also my story, because it's quite different how I came. Actually, I came from a totally different background. I didn't work in tech industry. I was mainly working for event management, but generally within the even cultural and NGO sector, which was totally different. But to me, to be honest, 4 years ago, I started hearing a lot about blockchain, and at the beginning, everything sounded so like in a movie, so unimaginable, untouchable, but also very inspiring. So for me, just noticing this around me, I wanted to dig into the information to find out what is all about it. And I sense that it is the future. And at the end, it's all about the person. So if a person is willing to be involved in the future and to leave a mark somehow, which was very important to me, I decided that this might be my new path. So I started looking more about the technology, about the companies involved within, also just without even looking for this information. I start noticing events which were happening. For example, that time I was living in Vienna, and the first event was happening around the energy sector, and I found this very inspiring, how blockchain could help with the tracking, storing energy, etc. And later on, also, I was involved with the organization of one event for escape room, which wanted to create a token for escape rooms globally, so that people could pay with these tokens whenever they go to escape room in the world. So to me, this started to feel really inspiring, and it was really easy for me to start working in the industry, because it's first it starts with your personal interest, and then you just as an individual, as every new thing that you just start educating yourself. And at the end, it doesn't matter if you're female or male, because blockchain is just it's just one name, but at the end, the industry and the companies or startups, at the end, we all are people behind. So it's not the technology, it's the people behind this. And if the people are welcoming and friendly, as they are usually in the tech, it doesn't matter if you're female or male. So this was my personal experience, and I'm very grateful to be also in this team, because it really doesn't matter what type of gender you are, even neutral. Like, it doesn't matter, because at the end we are humans, and this is all about it. It's the human connection, not the technology. This is the thing I wanted to share with you.
Thank you so much. It's a really great story, and it does show that you don't have to have a specific background. Blockchain at the moment is looking for people of all backgrounds. Basically, your experience, no matter which industry it is, it's valuable, and it will be valuable for a blockchain startup. And I'm really happy that Bojana shared her experience, and I hope that this can be a good finishing line for the call today. Anastasia, any final words for anyone considering joining blockchain space? Why?
I just wanted to, the only thing that I thought of now is that I had so many use cases lined up, and I'm not just thinking about all that I didn't share, but I'm sure we have a chance to share more. As Bojana said, one of the things that I have also noticed, doesn't matter whether we are very eager to share their knowledge. So yeah, those
just ask.
Just ask, exactly.
Just ask. And don't be afraid to ask, and don't be afraid to to show that you don't know something, because blockchain is a wide space. I don't know everything. Anastasia doesn't know everything, but there is always someone to help you understand. And yeah, you don't have to be ashamed. You just have to lean on, ask for your position, and get started. It's easy as that, I think.
Totally agree.
Thank you very much, Anastasia. It was really nice speaking to you. Hope to see you in person soon. And
Me too, Steffi.
everyone enjoyed the discussion as I did, and I hope it inspired a little bit the blockchain in everyone's head.
Thank you to Steffi. It was a pleasure. We can talk like that forever, I think. Thank you very much, and thank you everyone for being with us. Thank you for taking part. I can't believe actually how many questions and interest we have had in this amazing day outside. Thank you, and see you soon.